guys, because you're so cool, I'm going to give you a copy of my ebook for free. Right.
That's here.
I got hot, so go.
We've all shot.
Okay, so which one am I shooting?
10,000 meters.
Either or, just make sure you've got two arrows in the same target.
In the same target, got it.
Say again.
I just rode in on a chariot.
Right here. River range. Where you like it?
Okay, so I caused a huge delay. I was on the wrong target and had to come up here, and we're just now getting started. So. This is an excellent story.
22.
I'm on target 70. I'm going the wrong way. I find these guys, like Austin and Alex, are like a water boy. I get in the back of their four-wheeler, and they wheel me up about 10 targets. I had to keep my bow off of the little cart because it kept shaking so much. It was bad. We drove past my pro staff manager, Steve, at Hoyt, and he was like, "Ace, what are you doing?" So, but I'm glad I did that, because if I didn't, I would have been probably 10 more minutes late. Thank you. So next time, when it's 7:30, you better be on your target, not starting to walk to
Talk
your
about
target.
how this target went.
I'm using just the horizontal component distance on my rangefinder. Shot these two holes. 42.7 yards. So, and it was pretty steep downhill. So what that tells me is I probably should have cut a little bit more to get closer to the center of the dot. But my left and right's good. I did like 2 clicks left and chopped this one. So. Missed about this high. Probably should cut a little bit more. Maybe my sight tape's just a little off. So 8 clicks out. So I don't know how much to take out of my sight, because I don't shoot 100 yards a lot. So what I'm going to do is, the amount I missed, I'm going to put my pin that much low, and then just execute a good shot and see if it hits the dot. Inside the dot, probably about this far from the very middle. So my pin, I had it floating around the bottom right, and it kind of went left. And I hit my first shot a little to the left, but mostly high, and I was holding right on it. So missed one. I can't afford to do that again. Shot high on past spells, shot high on this one. So I'll probably take that into consideration on the next few targets. Check my sight tape here.
Next one.
So this is the mark I was using this morning, and I set my sight to 77, 65. I was staying around 101 yards. Probably added a little too much. I probably should just did something in between, something closer to my original mark. At 100, we're only going to shoot 100 once, so. So between yesterday and today, I shot until dark and I was struggling. and I was shooting a command shot, and right now I'm shooting a surprise release, and it took a lot of weight off my bars so I can hold longer and not have to brace the bow as much. So far I'm impressed. Aiming very well, and I'm just executing a normal shot. So we got these sheets. This would be cool. I don't think it's inside out. It's very good. Just want to do that again. I think I left my burrito and my water at the last target. Broke to the left, but it's in the dot.
He said, pull it.
In my best spot. The only reason I sent him there is because once you get
Damn targets.
so it'll be like any birdie points. So I'm like, I'm gonna eat something for a second.
Any part of this?
Okay, so
Mine all the way.
this is my first one. This is my second one. Just a little bit more to the right and a little high. Looks good.
I have lube on mine.
Probably not going to change anything.
I don't know if it helped. It's felt good.
That's good.
You either get stuck in these things or you blow through them by the end of the 3 days.
It's like cardboard.
No in between. Well, I guess the Knicks.
Feels like it.
Those weren't bad.
This guy is looking mean. Look at him. Golly, man. Red eyes. So I think I got 22 on that. So the goal is to try to get 2 in the orange dot, and you'll get 22. And people historically have shot like only missing the dot like once or twice, 3 times. That would be like record level stuff. So. It's on the outside now. If it was a command shot at that distance, it would have been like perfect. But when you pull through, your form kind of has to break down and move, and I feel like I just kind of moved in that direction. So kind of up and to the left is kind of where I expand. So. Loosen this up just a bit.
You gotta explain why you're doing that.
Yeah, so like, because I missed kind of high left, I was holding forever, expanding forever, and the shot probably should have went a little earlier. So I made my release a little hotter, about 1/8 of a turn out of the tension. So it should be a little easier, and I won't have to work as hard to get the shot to go off. So I think I'll like that. that was a good move using the red mark because I'm barely high from the center. I would have been out of the dot probably if I used the original mark. That's good. Those are perfect. So, yeah, as far as how I set my sight, 2505 was the number I had on the sight tape. It was 19 yards, about 20. Oh, I used my 20 mark on it. I should have used my 19 mark, but the 20 hit fine, so what that tells me is it's close. That's all it tells me. So 2505. Essentially, the first number is here, so put it on the 25 mark, and then I set the knob to 05, so between 0 and 1. So it feels like 2550. Put it on the 25 mark here, and then turn this to 5. So the number after the decimal is the in between of the two lines. So a full rotation is one line on the sight. So yeah. Feel pretty good about the setup. Feel pretty good about my shot. It's not a game of being perfect. It's about, for me, it's about being as lazy as I can and still hitting the dot. So how easy can I hit okay? So, and how many okay shots can I hit? You know, I don't want to shoot any dumb shots. So if I shoot inside outs all day and have one really dumb shot, that can mess you up in this game. But if I hold halfway decent in the orange dot the whole time, then I could probably hit the orange shot every single time. So that's kind of the idea. So a lot of people ask me about yardage cuts, and I don't really focus on that a lot, especially shooting ASA. It's usually flat unless you're shooting at London, but even then it's not even that uphill or downhill. So talking to people, what I've learned with cuts essentially is if you're aiming uphill or downhill a ton with a bow, it'll read you a number, but with your bow you need to actually cut the yardage and shoot less than what it says. And that rule applies uphill and downhill, usually about the same. It can be a little different. I just think about it as about the same cut, uphill or downhill. And if you're shooting like straight downhill, like 40 degrees, you're going to be cutting, you know, like 1.5 yards, something like that. Same with shooting uphill. So for this, the steepest angle is probably about 20 degrees for all of the targets, and I've learned that past about 23, 24 degrees is when most rangefinder cutting is not as accurate. So because we're not shooting anything crazy steep, I'm using the Vortex Razor HD 4000 rangefinder, and it has horizontal component distance. Bow mode on a Leupold is the same, but essentially I'm just ranging it and it shouts out a number and I just put my sight to it. But if it was like past 23 degrees, I would cut more progressively as it gets steeper and further away. So like if you're shooting something that's like straight down, let's say you're shooting a goat on a mountain or something crazy like that, it might be 100 yards, you might set your sight to 50 to hit it. I've heard crazy stories about that. So but for redding, I would just use your rangefinder. Just be mindful, if you really need to check the angle, you can swap from like the horizontal component distance setting to the line of sight to see the angle, and you can kind of get an idea and then swap back, and yeah, just go from there. This target, I did that strategy where I split the difference, and I was shooting around 57 yards away. Essentially, my shot broke down, and then I broke the shot and I missed the dot, and then I added that difference back. So I moved my sight down so I'd hit higher and lighten my release quite a bit more, and just focused on relaxing my hand. And I got the shot off much better. I was more strong. I think I shot better, so we'll have to see. Yeah, so you can see that, or at the top left of the dot right there. That was the good shot. So timing was good, added those clicks. So around 60 yards, I'm going to probably use the black numbers, but closer I'll use more of the red. I'd say around 40 yards and in, I'll use the red numbers, and then past 40 I'll use the black. So a little complicated. I'm not as prepared as I would like. I literally sighted in this morning. That's why I'm using Archer's Mark to begin with. Preferably I would use a sight tape. So yeah, something that's really dialed and tested over several ranges. So, but that is what I would do if you have to sight in and you don't have another choice. Use Archer's Mark and put like 5 marks in, and just know what to expect. This is the 4-yard target. So for me, my 4-yard is 40 yards. This is 4 yards. That's not 4 yards. Yeah, so for 4 feet, it'll be 40 yards. Well, is that 4 yards? We'll have to see. But I know you'll have to shoot like right in front of it, like 3 feet and 4 feet. 4 feet for me is 40 yards, 3 feet is 50. So, and it's different for everyone. It depends on your peep height and your peep to sight distance, from what I've heard. So. Twelve and a half feet. Yeah, so I need to put my sight to 40 yards. 580. And hope and pray. I'll just punch that one up. Punch that one too, right in the hole. Easy enough.
Everybody? Yeah.
I was hitting while I was aiming that man, right there.
I would not get behind the knock. That'd be a bad view for YouTubers.
Yeah,
Get punched in the eye with a knock.
Just got a black eye.
That's called views, or no eye.
You can use Archer's Advantage as well for your short yardage marks, but it'll be in yards, not feet. So you might be in trouble if it's like in between 2 yards and 3 yards. If you're at 2.5 yards, the difference could be like 5 yards on your sight. So. We just shot these feet at 9 yards, and a big mistake a lot of people are going to make is just using their 10-yard pin. So 10 yards is good, but the difference between 10, 9, and 8 is huge still, just like with the 3 and 4 yarders. So I will always make sure I get at least an 8-yard sight mark, put it into your app or whatever, and go from there. So get a 20, get an 8-yard, get a 30, a 50, and a 100. That's what I would do.